Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, March 2nd, 2020. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment will be given much focus on community surveillance as it ramps up its efforts to build the country's capacity to deal with the coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, which is getting closer to home. Over the weekend, news broke of at least 3 cases in the Caribbean region. During the first few weeks of the outbreak, much focus was on monitoring at the air and seaports for persons traveling from the epicenter China and other countries which reported cases. Speaking with NBC News this morning, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Simone Keizer Beache said much work is being done to increase capacity for detection, containment and management. She said the ministry is working with many stakeholders to adequately manage any cases of the disease in the region.
Focus now is going to be on community surveillance in addition to the airports, so that we will be able to pick up if there is a case that has gotten in otherwise because of the rapid spread around the world and even in the region. And we are also increasing our capacity to manage any cases and working with all of the stakeholders, the hoteliers, all of our healthcare workers, so that we would be able to adequately manage a case if that was true.
Recently, the ministry announced that 17 persons were quarantined and tested for the disease here. And on the radio today, Dr. Beache made it clear that so far there are no coronavirus or COVID-19 in SVG.
We have no cases of coronavirus in St. Vincent to date. We have had to test just 3 persons so far, and those cases were all negative. We have persons in quarantine, and I will have updated figures later. As of Friday, we only had 3 persons, 2 from Japan who traveled, locals who had traveled from Japan, and 1 non-local who had traveled from Italy.
In other news, outgoing president of the SVG Teachers Union, Wendy Bino, has expressed best wishes to her successor and the new executive who will be in charge of the affairs of the union for the next 2 years. In an interview with our news team on Friday, Bino, who lost the leadership position to Oswald Robinson after serving just 1 term in office, said she has no ill feelings towards anyone and that she will be rooting for the president-elect and the new executive.
And it depends on where you stand. A sunset can actually look like a sunrise. So this is an opportunity for me to reset. It's to me, it's not a loss. I don't ever feel that I have lost anything. I feel like I win or I learn, and this is the case here. I wish them well, but I also want to take this opportunity to really thank those General Council members who supported me over the last 2 years. I want to also thank the General Secretary, Nikisha Williams, the Public Relations Officer, Jonathan Roberts, the second Vice President, Andrew John. You know, they radiated a type of energy that we needed, and they really supported the cause of the union and helped to advance the cause for members.
In the leadership race, Bino secured 463 votes, while Robinson secured 500. Bino said that she feels satisfied with what she was able to accomplish during her 2-year term.
I feel a great sense of satisfaction based on feedback that I have received from members that I had a spectacular 2 years. I had some wow moments. They included reactivating the 10 branches, expanding committees so that members can feel involved in the union, and this was a way to also build capacity to ensure that the union lives on. I am happy to say that, you know, members feel that we've had the best 2 years for over a decade. And I am happy to have been the president during this time. couple members indicated that, not couple, but a whole lot indicated that they didn't want to continue to serve, they didn't want to continue to be members. But no, I said no, we have to remain in the organization, hold the fort. We can't.
Asked if she will consider running again for the leadership position of the union, Bainu said it was always her intention to serve 2 terms and that she is not sure at this time.
I embarked on president for a 2nd term in office. I had intended to end at the end of the 2022 biennium. I still have a seat on the executive as the immediate past president, and I shall be there because 463 members voted for me, and I felt really happy, overwhelmed at times with the outpouring of love from all those messages they sent me on the night of the results and between that night and today.
The newly elected executive of the Teachers Union will be installed at the 21st biannual conference next month. And outgoing Speaker of the House of Assembly, Jomo Thomas, urged Vincentians to be critical thinkers and be open-minded on national issues. Thomas, who was expected to demit office on Friday, was speaking with SVG-TV News on his decision to step out of the Speaker's chair after 4 years.
Don't do it because don't believe it because my leader said it, or my pastor said it, or my husband said it, or my wife said it. Don't even believe it because I saw it on Facebook or I saw it on TV, because of all of the manipulations that can happen. You want to use your senses, and you want to use that brain, which all of us got and spend a lot of time cultivating and developing. Don't surrender that to anyone or to anything.
With this year expected to be an election year, Thomas said it is important for persons to think for themselves and make informed decisions.
Well, what I would say to citizens of this country is not to blindly accept a view or position on any matter. As one important social scientist said, nothing is settled for all times. So you want to be open-minded, you want to be critical, particularly you want to interrogate power, because power likes to do things in the dark. You want to be able to shine a light on power, because sometimes, you know, if you shine a light, you see some roaches scurrying in all different directions.
The outspoken social activist said he took his own advice and made an informed decision to part ways with the ruling Unity Labour Party.
I could have left earlier, but I didn't want to give the leadership an out, because after the 2015 elections, because I felt that there was a clear decision to freeze me out and to ensure that I didn't win, I had no intention of running for the party again. But I didn't want to leave then, because I didn't want them to come now as we getting close to this election and say, well, propagandistically they say, well, we didn't tell him to leave, he decided to leave. But if you look at what has happened since 2016, I mean, there was a constant barrage, literally every day, certainly at least once per week. And it showed that they were not concerned about serious debate. We wanted to have a hero in the crowd, and while some may be heroes, I think the crowd should be more informed. So that's where we are. That's how we ended up the way we are.
Assistant Superintendent of Prisons Julian Clarke is again appealing to the public to observe the rules relating to contraband items. Speaking with our news team on a number of programs the prison service has been engaged in to help rehabilitate inmates, Superintendent Clarke said the smuggling of contraband items into the prisons will not be tolerated, and persons found in the act, including inmates, will be dealt with harshly. The security at the prisons recently came under scrutiny after 2 videos surfaced on social media showing inmates showing off from inside with cell phones from inside their cells, reportedly at the Beache facility. On several occasions, Superintendent of Prisons Brenton Charles called on the public to adhere to the rules and to desist from smuggling contraband items into the prisons. Assistant Superintendent Clarke said it's an issue they take very seriously and are doing all they can to put a stop to it.
There's a burning issue that we are faced with that I don't know if I can use your program to shed some light on it. But members of the public are encroaching on the prison's compound to bring prohibited articles of all type and kind. I am calling on the public to desist from this practice. It's a dangerous practice and it's not helping in any way. So I would like the public to stop this sort of nonsense that they're engaging in.
The 12th anniversary of the Pan Against Crime initiative was celebrated on Sunday evening with a concert in Retreat, Vermont. As part of the proceedings, the 24th Police Youth Club was launched. We hear more in this report.
Youths from the Vermont area are expected to be engaged in a number of meaningful activities through the newly launched Police Youth Club.
I will be obedient, honest and loyal, and will not lie, cheat, steal or tolerate or encourage those who do. I will accept responsibilities for my actions and shall discourage other members from committing breaches in my presence.
Police Commissioner Colin endorsed the initiative, noting that there is much to benefit from being part of the Police Youth Club.
We will ensure that the children they are given the right direction. The Police Youth Club, we have seen a lot of successes. Last year, we won the college football, college basketball, college netball. Also, several members of the Police Youth Club, they have joined the organization as police officers. So that's one way in which persons can get into the organization as police officers. And we fully encourage and endorse that.
Commissioner John said to date more than 2,000 youths have also passed through the Pan Against Crime program and are now reaping the benefits.
We are also seeing that the police, we are working with the community. The community have been a very good partner in the crime fighting and crime prevention initiative. And we cannot do it without you. We are not everywhere, and we need your help. We need your information to solve crime. Things like the Pan Against Crime and the Police Youth Club, these are just some of the tools that we are using to help to make St. Vincent and the Grenadines a safer place.
Another initiative by the government to tackle crime is the Sports Against Crime. This program works hand in hand with the Pan Against Crime program. Minister of Sports and Culture Sister Says Mackey outlined some of the plans for the program, which involves all 15 constituencies.
And this year, for the Sport Against Crime initiative, we will be having 4 major concerts throughout the length and breadth of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where Pan and young people will be involved. We will be having 12 smaller initiatives across the communities, and this community will be involved in that initiative as well. We'll be going into all 15 constituencies, involving the Pan, involving young people, and the Pan Against Crime and Sport Against Crime initiative collaborating.
At Saturday's event, a minute's silence was observed for former national netballer and sports ambassador Galen Wisder, who passed away last week. She was a committee member of the Sports Against Crime program. At the celebratory concert, the crowd was entertained by several steel orchestras and other performers. The Pan Against Crime initiative is the brainchild of Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. The theme for the initiative is Play a Pan, Arrange a Song, Build a Mind, Down with Violence and Crime. For SVG-TV News, Larissa Pogsley-Kidd.
SVG recorded its third homicide last Friday evening. Dead is 39-year-old Edward Lave of Petit-Bedell. Lave succumbed to his injuries after he was chopped with a cutlass, allegedly by fellow villager James Francois. Francois appeared before Senior Magistrate Ricky Bonnet today and was not allowed to plead to the indictable offense. He was remanded into custody. He is expected to reappear at the Serious Offences Court tomorrow, when a date will be set for the start of the preliminary inquiry into the incident. 9 students from the Michigan State University are in the country on a one-week educational tour. They started their tour with visits today at the obelisk here at Dorsetshire Hill and at the nearby school. Leader of the team, Professor Glenn Chambers, says the visit to SVG was planned 2 years ago, and it is for his students to have a better understanding of the Caribbean culture, particularly of the Garifuna people.
Really chose St. Vincent because of its rich history, and it's a Caribbean history course that we're doing, but we chose St. Vincent because of its rich history, particularly as it relates to the Garifuna population, as well as just the longer standing history of slavery, colonialism, particularly the back and forth between the British and the French. And so we saw St. Vincent and the Grenadines as a space where we could really explore all of those different aspects of the history of the Americas.
The students say they are excited about the tour and are looking forward to visit other historic sites and communities in the country.
From Seattle, Washington in the United States. I'm a student at Michigan State University, and I hope to gain an understanding of the culture here. It's been a dream of mine to come to the Caribbean since I was 4 years old, and I read about it in all the tourism books, so this is a dream come true for me.
And essentially out of the trip, I really hope just to grasp the rich culture and history of the space. It's very, it's a grand opportunity to be here, and just seeing the scenery here has really been striking to me, so I'm really excited just to explore the landscape more and integrate myself with the people and culture.
Maxine Brown of the Ministry of Culture said the students are visiting at an important time for SVG.
And they could not have come at a better time, because actually this is our Heroes and Heritage Month, and we learn all about our national hero, our Joseph Chatoyer, and other historical things about St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Again, I thank them for choosing SVG, the natural place to be. You're home, away from home. And they could not have come at a better time, because actually this is our Heroes and Heritage Month, and we learn all about our national hero, our Joseph Chatoyer, and other historical things about St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Again, I thank them for choosing SVG, the natural place to be. You're home, away from home.
20 local pesticide inspectors recently got the opportunity to sharpen their skills through a training workshop facilitated by the Food and Agricultural Organization. The participants were drawn from several departments of the Ministry of Agriculture and the Customs and Excise Department. The workshop provided training on the legal basis for inspection and powers of pesticide inspectors. Minister of Agriculture Subota Keizer thanked the government and people of Taiwan for their support in relation to the testing of pesticide residue. He said it's important to protect members of the public from products which are harmful to their health and the environment.
And that is something this year, as we work to sell a higher quality product, we also have to work to reduce the imports of bad product. And I'm calling it bad product because it is bad product. And as a representative for constituency, I go around the community day by day, and the types of ailments I'm seeing and hearing and reading about, definitely we have to do our best to ensure that whatever we are doing in our production systems and the protection that we have to put in place at our borders, that we do not facilitate or encourage anything or activity that will lead to the increase in ailments.
Recently, the government took the decision to ban certain pesticides, such as glyphosate products. Minister Keizer said there was a good reason for the policy decision and appealed to farmers to adhere to rules and regulations.
So we placed a ban on all glyphosate products. And what was alarming was that when the word got out that there was going to be a ban, and the reason we were going to place the ban, because of the scientific research which was done, within a matter of hours, farmers went and purchased all. It goes to show that in order to properly address the issue of the reduction of synthetic pesticides and herbicides in our country, we don't only just have to make farmers aware of the negatives, we have to show them what, from an economic standpoint, are the positives. And there is where I want to zero in.
Expressing concern with the exposure of ground crews and farmers to pesticides, Minister Keizer said there are other ways which this can be done and highlighted one innovative solution.
Out of the skies, because we were doing aerial spraying up to about a year and a half ago, and we have stopped aerial spraying. And again, some persons, stakeholders in the banana industry, said that okay, it will be devastating. But we see whereby we were able to increase the ground crews, and we have to take that even to another level, because I am not comfortable with the exposure that we have our men on the spray teams in 2020 exposing themselves on a day-to-day basis to these chemicals. And we have to move where we use drones over isolated plots, and we can delve into the spraying in that regard.